Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today, we're diving into the fascinating history of how the United Kingdom, or the UK, came into existence. It's a tale filled with wars, unions, and political maneuvers. So, let's get started. First, let's go back to ancient times. The island of Great Britain was originally inhabited by Celtic tribes. The Romans arrived in 43 AD and established their province of Britannia, but they didn't conquer the entire island. By the early 5th century, the Roman Empire was declining, and the Romans withdrew from Britain. Now, let's jump forward to the early medieval period. After the Romans left, the Anglo-Saxons, who were Germanic tribes, began to settle in Britain. They established several kingdoms, such as Wessex, Mercia, and Northumbria. Over time, these kingdoms started to merge, and by the 10th century, the Kingdom of England was formed. Meanwhile, in the west, the Kingdom of Scotland was taking shape. It was a union of the Picts and the Gaels. In the year 843, Kenneth MacAlpin became the first king to rule over both peoples, marking the beginning of the Kingdom of Scotland. In 1066, a major event took place, the Norman conquest of England. William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, defeated King Harold II at the Battle of Hastings and became the King of England. The Normans brought significant changes to England, including the feudal system and the construction of many castles. Now, let's move on to Wales. Wales was never a unified kingdom like England or Scotland. It was made up of several small kingdoms. In the late 13th century, Edward I of England conquered Wales and incorporated it into the Kingdom of England. The Statute of Rhuddlan in 1284 made Wales a legal part of England, but it retained some distinct cultural aspects. Ireland's story is equally complex. The Normans also invaded Ireland in the 12th century, and over time, the English crown extended its control over the island. However, Ireland remained largely autonomous until the Tudor conquest in the 16th century. The Kingdom of Ireland was declared in 1541, but English control was limited to certain areas, known as the Pale. So, we have England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland, all with their own unique histories. The big turning point came in 1603. Queen Elizabeth I of England died without an heir, and the crown passed to her cousin, James VI of Scotland, who became James I of England. This was the beginning of the personal union of the two crowns, but it wasn't until 1707 that a formal union occurred. The Acts of Union 1707 merged the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland into the Kingdom of Great Britain. This was driven by political and economic factors, including the need for a united front against France and the financial stability that union promised. Ireland remained a separate kingdom but was brought closer to Britain through the Acts of Union 1800, which came into effect in 1801. This created the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. However, the union with Ireland was fraught with difficulties, leading to the Irish War of Independence and the creation of the Irish Free State in 1922. Northern Ireland chose to remain part of the UK, which is why today we have the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The Celtic era and Roman breed in the Celtic tribes. The island of Great Britain was originally home to Celtic tribes, known for their rich culture and advanced metalwork. The major tribes included the Britons in the south, the Picts in the north, and the Gaels in the west. Their societies were tribal and clan-based, with each tribe having its own king or chief. The Roman conquest in 43 AD, the Romans, led by Emperor Claudius, invaded Britain. This was not their first attempt. Julius Caesar had made exploratory expeditions in 55 and 54 BC but did not establish a lasting presence. The Roman conquest was thorough and led to the establishment of the province of Britannia. The Romans built extensive road networks, towns, and fortifications, such as Hadrian's Wall, which marked the northern limit of their control. Roman withdrawal. By the early 5th century, the Roman Empire was in decline, and Roman troops were withdrawn from Britain to defend the empire's core territories. This left Britain vulnerable to invasions by various groups, including the Saxons, Angles, and Jutes. The Anglo-Saxon period. Anglo-Saxon invasions. The withdrawal of the Romans led to the arrival of the Anglo-Saxons, Germanic tribes from present-day Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. They settled in different parts of Britain, forming several kingdoms: Kent, Sussex, Wessex, Essex, East Anglia, Mercia, and Northumbria. These kingdoms often fought against each other and against remaining Celtic tribes. Unification of England. The Viking invasions of the 9th century significantly impacted Anglo-Saxon England. The Great Heathen Army, a large Viking force, invaded in 865 AD, leading to the establishment of the Danelaw in the north and east of England. However, King Alfred the Great of Wessex successfully defended his kingdom and laid the foundations for a unified English kingdom. His successors continued his work, and by the early 10th century, the Kingdom of England was formed under King Athelstan. The formation of Scotland. Picts and Gaels in the north. The Kingdom of Scotland was formed through the union of the Picts and the Gaels. The Picts inhabited the eastern and northern parts of what is now Scotland, while the Gaels, originally from Ireland, settled in the western part, known as Dalriada. Kenneth MacAlpin in 843 AD. Kenneth MacAlpin, the king of the Gaels of Dalriada, became the king of the Picts, effectively uniting the two peoples under one rule. This marked the beginning of the Kingdom of Alba, which would later be known as Scotland. The Norman Conquest Battle of Hastings in 1066, William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, claimed the English throne and invaded England. He defeated King Harold II at the Battle of Hastings, leading to significant changes in English society, including the introduction of the feudal system and the construction of numerous castles to assert Norman control. Norman influence. The Normans brought a new administrative system and influenced the English language, law, and culture. Their rule also led to the Domesday Book, a comprehensive survey of landholdings in England, completed in 1086. The conquest of Wales. Welsh kingdoms. Wales was divided into several small kingdoms, such as Gwynedd, Powys, and Deheubarth. These kingdoms often fought amongst themselves and against the Anglo-Saxons. Edward I and Wales. In the late 13th century, Edward I of England launched a series of campaigns to conquer Wales. By 1283, he had subdued the Welsh princes, and the Statute of Rhuddlan in 1284 incorporated Wales into the Kingdom of England. Edward built a series of impressive castles, such as Carnarvon and Conwy, to maintain control. Ireland and the English crown. Norman invasion of Ireland in 1169, the Normans invaded Ireland at the invitation of an Irish king seeking help in a local dispute. This led to the establishment of the Lordship of Ireland, with the English crown exerting control over parts of the island, primarily around Dublin, known as the Pale. Tudor conquest. In the 16th century, the Tudor monarchy aimed to consolidate its control over Ireland. The Kingdom of Ireland was declared in 1541, and efforts were made to anglicize the Irish nobility and integrate the island more closely with England. The union of the crowns. James VI and I. In 1603, Queen Elizabeth I of England died without an heir, and the English throne passed to James VI of Scotland, who became James I of England. This personal union of the two crowns brought England and Scotland under a single monarch, but they remained separate kingdoms with their own parliaments and laws. The Acts of Union 1707. Political and economic factors. The union of England and Scotland in 1707 was driven by several factors. Politically, a united kingdom was seen as a way to strengthen the Protestant succession and provide a united front against France. Economically, Scotland was in dire straits following the failure of the Darien scheme, a disastrous attempt to establish a colony in Central America. Creation of Great Britain. The Acts of Union 1707 merged the parliaments of England and Scotland to create the Kingdom of Great Britain. Scotland retained its legal and educational systems but shared a single parliament and monarch with England. The union with Ireland. Acts of Union 1800. The late 18th century saw significant unrest in Ireland, culminating in the Irish Rebellion of 1798. In response, the British government pushed for a union with Ireland to strengthen control. The Acts of Union 1800 merged the Kingdom of Ireland with the Kingdom of Great Britain, forming the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Challenges and division. The union with Ireland faced significant opposition and difficulties. The push for Irish independence grew throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, leading to the Irish War of Independence. In 1921, the Anglo-Irish Treaty established the Irish Free State, and in 1922, Ireland was partitioned, with Northern Ireland choosing to remain part of the UK. Modern United Kingdom. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Since 1922, the UK has been known as the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It comprises 4 countries, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, each with its own distinct cultural identity and administrative systems. Devolution. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, there has been a process of devolution, granting greater autonomy to Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. This has included the establishment of the Scottish Parliament, the Welsh Seand, and the Northern Ireland Assembly. Conclusion. The formation of the United Kingdom is a complex and multifaceted story, involving centuries of conquests, unions, and political changes. Each part of the UK has its own unique history, but together they form the country we know today. Understanding this history helps us appreciate the rich tapestry of cultures and identities that make up the UK. If you enjoyed this detailed exploration, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating historical deep dives. See you in the next video.